Hi! Today we're going to be reading the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears as retold and illustrated by Jonathan Langley. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived in a little house in the big wood. There was a great big bear called Papa Bear, a middle-sized bear called Mama Bear, and a tiny little bear called Baby Bear. The three bears lived very happily and quietly together in their house, which was always tidy. They each had their own things. They had their own food bowls, a big one for Papa Bear, a medium-sized one for Mama Bear, and a little tiny one for Baby Bear. They had their own chairs, a big one for Papa Bear, a medium-sized one for Mama Bear, and a little tiny one for Baby Bear. They had their own beds, a big bed for Papa Bear, a medium-sized bed for Mama Bear, and a little tiny bed for Baby Bear. One morning, when it was his turn to make breakfast, Papa Bear made a big pot of porridge. When it was ready, he poured it into the three bowls, but it was still too hot to eat. So Papa Bear suggested, since it was a sunny morning, that they all go for a stroll in the woods while the porridge cooled. After opening the windows to let the sun in to warm up the house, they set off. On that same morning, there was someone else walking in the big wood. A little girl called Goldilocks was stomping along, swatting at butterflies with a stick. She was in a bad mood. Her mom had yelled at her, and she slammed out of the house without any breakfast. Goldilocks was feeling very hungry when suddenly she smelled the warm, delicious aroma of porridge. She followed the smell with her nose until she came to where the three bears' house stood in the sunny clearing. Goldilocks liked the look of the house. She peeped through the window to see where the smell was coming from, and she saw the three bowls of porridge on the table. She wondered if whoever lived in the house might like to share their breakfast with her, because her tummy was grumbling. So she knocked on the door. There was no reply. Goldilocks lifted the latch to see if the door was open. It was. After looking around, she opened the door, stepped inside, and went straight for the bowls of porridge. She first tried the biggest bowl with the most porridge in it. "Ooh," she said, "it's too hot." Then she tried the middle-sized bowl. "Yuck, it's too cold," she said. Next, she tried the little bowl with the rabbits on it. "Yum, yum, yum, just right," she said, and she quickly ate it all up. Then Goldilocks started to make herself at home. She tried sitting in the biggest chair, but it was very uncomfortable. It was too hard. Then she tried the middle-sized chair. "Too soft," she said. Next, she tried the little chair. Just right," she cried. She liked this one, and she wriggled with glee so much that crash, the back legs broke, and she fell to the floor. Picking herself up and feeling a little grumpy, Goldilocks then decided to explore the rest of the house. She went upstairs to the bedroom, where she found the three beds. First, she tried lying on the biggest bed. It was too hard. She tried lying in the medium-sized bed. It was too soft. Next, she tried the little bed. Just right," she said. It was so comfortable, she immediately fell right asleep. Very soon, the three bears returned home from their walk. They were surprised to find the door was open. They looked inside and noticed the bowls of porridge on the table. Somebody's been eating my porridge, said Papa Bear in a great gruff growling voice. Someone's been eating my porridge, said Mama Bear in a middle mellow-sized voice. Someone has been eating my porridge, said Baby Bear in a wee little tiny voice. Then they noticed the chairs had been moved. Somebody's been sitting in my chair, said Papa Bear in his great gruff growling voice. Someone's been sitting in my chair, said Mama Bear in her mellow middle-sized voice. Somebody's been sitting in my chair and it's all broken to pieces, sobbed Baby Bear in a squeaky little voice, dripping tears onto the floor. The three bears heard the sound of snoring coming from upstairs. They tiptoed up the stairs and into the bedroom. They looked at the rumpled beds. Somebody's been lying in my bed, said Papa Bear in his great gruff growling voice. Someone has been lying on my bed, said Mama Bear in her mellow middle-sized voice. Somebody's been lying on my bed and she's still there, wailed Baby Bear in a squeaky little voice. The commotion woke Goldilocks up with a start. Seeing the three bears, she screamed, "Ah!" This so frightened the three bears that they all flung their arms up and they screamed too, "Ah!" Goldilocks thought she was going to be eaten. She leaped out of the bed and dived out the nearest window. She landed in a blackberry bush. She picked herself up and ran home as fast as her legs would go. After the three bears got over their shock, Father Bear made some more porridge. Mama Bear mended Baby Bear's chair, and Baby Bear made the beds. They lived happily ever after, and they always locked their door when they went out, just in case. Goldilocks never went back to the three bears' house. She grew up into a fine young woman and had many adventures, but she never did eat porridge again. The end. Hope you liked that story. Bye.